Hi, my name is Juliana Gomez. This is week 4 for World War I. The assignment of the questions and going through them of what I learned and just doing my best in what I got to partake in. And so starting off in the first question is the immediate cause. And so it was the association between the two of the Australian Archduke and Franz Ferdinand in June 28, 1914. The nationalist named Dervol, I believe that's how you say it, was a part of it as well. And so the plan from the Skirfen, I believe that's how you say the name, was to invade France. And so in the video, they make a joke of like, oh, why not invade France? Like, because they're there. And so I thought that was funny, but yeah, so that was part of it. And then John Green blames World War I on just the alliance system of the cultural beliefs of the war and the good for the nation. It's because they want to be them, and it's about us. So he says that war helped define who they are into us, and so they thought it was glorious and it was wonderful, the war. And so later on they find out that it wasn't. I was like, oh, no brainer, really? Wow, wonderful. So it says, how many miles was the trench probably ran? And so it says it covers 400 miles, but then with the zigzags and everything, it was about 25,000 miles. How many people were killed and wounded? Over 15 million people were killed and over 20 million wounded. In France, it was 13.3% of males population that was killed in 15, and 49 died in the war. The war of civilians' death, there was a lot of people that were wounded. It was about 2 million of 3 million people that were killed in non-combats. And so that is very sad. I think about the war in the Ukraine, how there are so many civilians that have been a part of this war, and I think it hurts my heart. Watching this video and seeing just the realness in the world that we live in and how we're a fallen people kind of hits the heartstrings a little. Going on to the next question is the most effective killer in World War I. And so this is the disease. Disease kind of creeps into different parts of history, but this part is talking about some of the diseases that really hurt them the most. But people would get hurt, and after their wounds won't heal properly, they'll get infections, diseases will come in and creep in, and then the highest effective killer was diseases. The combination made from the war were so deadly that there was different technologies and outdated tactics that really made it more deadly. People didn't know what they were doing, and so when they went into this war, it really hurt them at the end of the day. The techniques that were the most dangerous, the World War I, was the machine gun and barbed wire. That was the American territory that they used the most. It was because they would get hurt from the barbed wire. Now they're kind of limping, and then they shoot them right then and there. I was like, oh, no mercy. And then going into the trenches, the trenches were soggy, they were smelly, they were dirty, and the reek wasn't because of the dirt, but because of the stench of the bodies that were in the trenches. That, for me, kind of was like, oh, that's gross. But anyways, is the decomposing flesh, it says. That that was a interesting description. Since the pay was so bad, people kind of referred to alcoholism and their duties as a nationalist. That's why they continued to fight in the war. It wasn't because of the pay, because the pay wasn't good, but they would become drunks and they just wanted to sip their rum or guzzle it down, whatever floated their ego or their boat. Get it? Yeah, okay. Anyways, the Versailles blamed the war for the treaty ending in World War I, fixed the blame on Germany and the German economy and different policies that they had in the institutions. World War I due to Russia. So the disaster in Russia became fatal in different parts that arose in Bolshavias. I think that's how you say it. Bolshavias. You're going to have a lot of fun watching me pronounce these words. It's like biblical words. The names that I can't still say, and I study the Bible like almost every day. All right. And then, and so in Russia, the thing that made them spark up their interest in being part of it and the promises that were made to them were that they would get peace, bread, and land. And in the video, they had like this little hippie making like a peace sign. And so that's what sparked their interest. And so it was famously promised to the Russians, the peace, bread, and land. Interesting. And then after the war, the writers that created Romanticism, they went into modernized writing, and so they changed from the lost generation. When they were writing, I think they were writing from the inspiration of what it looked like and how hard it was to be there and how lost we are as a nation, as humans, as people. And I think they're seeing what God sees in a sense, but they don't know that God is also hurting because of the things that we do. So that was a heavy chapter and the things that we learned, but that was week 4. I hope you followed along with me and that we both learned something together. All right. I'll see you soon.